Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Hi, I just got back from watching Godzilla. Hello, and I have some questions to talk about it. It's like I think the Kraken is like a titan. I think the Kraken is a titan. Yeah. I'm just gonna go over quick. Okay, I'm back. I wonder. Under what? What's Godzilla's powers? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Here is the is the Kraken a tight clash. The Kraken and Zebra. It says Titans right here. Titans, Oceanus, and Ceto. Both entities of the sea. Its tentacles are large enough to be able to pull it. Which one do you think is the Kraken? Comment below. Oh. Wait, that's the Kraken. That one or that one? That one. I'll tell you at the end of the video. Kraken in. So it is a titan. It just wasn't in the movie. Okay, let's see. Here. I'm gonna look up, is there an ancient beetle? because when I saw how I saw an ancient beetle. Is there an ancient is there a ancient beetle? Yep, there is an ancient beetle. Titan. Let's see here. Titan beetle. Well, just comment down below if there's an ancient beetle. You can read all of this. I'll give you some time to read it. Okay. Any minute. Yeah, you might not want to read this. Oh, you can just look it up. Look it up. Up and then read at home. So let's get on to the next question. What are Godzilla. Godzilla's powers? Okay. Okay, let's see if encyclopedia, atomic breath, nuclear beam, radioactive ray, nuclear pulse, magnetic aura, and other powers. Regeneration. Godzilla has this to resist injury. Physical abilities. Godzilla has displayed varying levels of physical strength, radiation, in Godzilla's body constantly. Okay. Children, Milia, dragon, dinosaur. Abilities, hysterical strength, fire breathing, healing factor. The creator is Eiji Hita's Tomoyuki Tanaka, Ishira Honda. Awards. Japan Academy Award for Special Award from the occasion. MTV Lifetime Achievement Award, 1996. Okay. What are Godzilla's? What are Godzilla's predators? Let's see. I know the three-headed dragon. King Kong. That alien, I don't remember what it's called. Mothra, Rodent, and King Ghidorah. Yeah. Wait. Let's see. Top 5 deadliest foes. Tell me if these...
Hey guys, in celebration for the release of Godzilla King of the Monsters, I put together a series of top 5 and top 10 videos on the Big G. Now we've already looked at what I thought were the top 5 most powerful versions of Godzilla.
Oh.
For today, I want to take a look on the other side of the battlefield. This time, looking at the enemies, in order to put together a list of what I believe are the top 5 deadliest foes that Godzilla has faced off with in the live-action film universe.
Okay, let's see here.
Now, there's no definitive list out there of the deadliest kaiju in the Godzilla film series. This is just my opinion, and hopefully it's close to yours. If not, I'd love to hear your list.
Yep, I think that one is.
With that said, let's begin.
Godzilla Universe.
Our list begins here at number 5 in the Heisei era with Godzilla's own plant-based relative, Biollante. If you thought that a plant had no business facing off with Godzilla under normal circumstances, you'd be right. But with Biollante, we have a kaiju that surprisingly can deliver heavy amounts of damage. Its vines can extend over great distances, grabbing up any prey, and when needed, they can deliver a potent corrosive sap. If brute strength is needed, the tendrils are insanely strong, capable of going right through Godzilla's own hand with ease. At a closer range, she can spit a radioactive acidic sap, seemingly more powerful than the substance in the tendrils, and can actually move fairly quick when needed. If not for her aversion to atomic breath, she could place higher up on the list, yet if she is given time to grow to substantial size before her encounter, she could be even more dangerous. Climbing up one more notch on the deadly foe list brings us to number 4, with perhaps Godzilla's most iconic enemy.
Oh, I know this one. He defeated in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Couldn't hold on to the higher spot upon further examination. This shouldn't be taken lightly, however, as King Ghidorah is a deadly adversary, and one that can't be underestimated. If there's one enemy of Godzilla's that he usually rounds up the reinforcements to face off with, it's Ghidorah. It may even be this usage of caution from the Big G that keeps Ghidorah down in this number 4 spot.
Okay, that does not look like Godzilla. That does.
Yet no other fighter has faced such uphill odds each time.
Those do not look like Godzilla characters.
The Big 3G has held its own, almost strangling the overpowered Heisei Godzilla to death. And if you don't mind the King of the Monsters spoiler,
okay.
It also put the drop on legendary Godzilla, almost ending his short film career. Ghidorah will always be number 1 on a list for most iconic enemies, yet I'm comfortable putting it here at number 4 on the list of deadly kaiju. Which brings us to number 3, and just who could one-up Ghidorah when it comes to danger while facing off with Godzilla. Now hear me out on this one, it started much lower on the list originally, only to climb up a bit after further research. And the kaiju in question here is none other than Mechagodzilla. Even I had to rewatch the films of each era's Mecha G in order to get a true understanding of just how deadly each iteration of this thing has been, especially the first 2 from the Showa and Heisei eras. The original Space Mecha G was an offensive powerhouse, sending Godzilla into the ocean bleeding from a simple beam lock during their first matchup. Later, the robot doppelganger would unleash a barrage on Godzilla and King Caesar, causing the Big G to bleed after taking a brutal beating that wouldn't be outdone until the second spot on our list. The Heisei era's mech wasn't to be outdone either, using shock cables to take out Godzilla's second brain, almost killing him in the process. In their second match, Super Mecha G took out Fire Rodan and had Godzilla on the ropes until he absorbed the dying life force of Rodan, supercharging himself, causing enough heat to melt the anti-atomic breath coating, allowing the mech to fall. I won't forget Kiryu either, with Absolute Zero, a freeze weapon that tore a chunk from the chest of Godzilla. Mechagodzilla holds its spot as the third deadliest foe. Now at number 2, I have a challenger that many of you may not have on your list. This dark horse wasn't even on my radar for deadly foes at first, but after watching its movie, I don't think I've ever seen Godzilla take a worse beating than the one dealt to him from Hedorah, the Smog Monster. I know the list is for deadly Godzilla foes, but Hedorah is also one of the deadliest foes to the humans in the series. No other Godzilla film contains as much death as Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. We see in its flying form, it uses a sulfuric acid mist that kills anyone underneath it, and is even toxic enough to knock Godzilla off of his feet. The monster was able to keep Godzilla at a distance, causing him to second-guess any takedown attempts. This may be the only time I saw the Big G hesitant to fight with something. The pollution-fueled kaiju spit out acidic material onto Godzilla, causing severe burns, which could also be lit out in mass in order to overcome or even drown its opponent. Landing physical attacks on the Hedorah seemed futile and even counterproductive, with the acid contained within melting the flesh off of Godzilla's hand for the remainder of the fight, somehow nullifying his regeneration factor. By the end of this battle, the Big G has one eye burnt shut. All of the flesh burned off of his right hand. Scattered acid burns on the rest of his body, and he was only able to defeat the Smog Monster by drying it out with electricity with help from the humans, yet even this took several attempts, finally beating the evil toxic beast, but not completely, as another would appear in the end credits. This thing is pure evil, and could easily switch places with number 1 on the list, if not for the origin of that number 1 deadliest kaiju. And of course, the number 1 deadliest foe of Godzilla is that devil that was formed from the very weapon used to kill the original Godzilla, the Oxygen Destroyer. Destoroyah and Hedorah share a lot in common, which is likely why they share these top 2 spots.
I've seen it.
Both of them are composed of other
Godzilla,
life
King of the
divide
Monsters.
themselves up into smaller creatures or combine to create larger ones. They also both have a basis in destructive energy, micro-oxygen with Destoroyah and radioactive acidity with the Smog Monster. With Godzilla being partially based on radiation, I'll give the edge here to Destoroyah. Both kaiju had flying and walking forms, but Destoroyah's aggregate forms with many smaller creatures was an effective stage that the Smog Monster lacked. This thing was a tank, able to take blasts from a meltdown Godzilla, while still being able to slice and dice the Big G with its horn, damage which may have put down a standard G without the amped up regen that its burning form gave it. If not for the ULT freezing weapons, it's possible that Destoroyah would have even survived Godzilla's last attacks before meltdown, making it easy for me to have this monster top the list at number 1. And that's it for me, guys. Godzilla's top 5 deadliest foes. And I can already hear people asking why Space Godzilla isn't on the list. Well, I'll give it an honorable mention here, but he really didn't have the kill shot power that the others on the list had. To be honest, when it comes to wins and losses, Mothra is likely Godzilla's worst matchup. But unless he suffocates in that cocoon that is inevitably shot onto him, he'll return to fight another day. Other winners I give shoutouts to are Gigan for drawing blood, and a Monster X for dealing out and taking punishment from Final Wars Godzilla, a feat not taken lightly. That said, the list is as follows: Biollante at number 5, King Ghidorah at 4, Mechagodzilla at 3, Hedorah the Smog Monster at number 2, and the Oxygen Destroyer and a Kaiju at number 1, Destoroyah. So who would be on your top 5 deadliest kaiju list?